Do you want to learn how to draw? Like, learn how to draw people. Like, maybe it was your New Year's revolution or something. I mean, if it was, and even if it wasn't, and even if you're watching this and you're like, it's not even near New Year's, why? When I'm recording this, it is New Year's, so that's why. But, yeah, you can probably tell that I am a different strike. But today I'm going to go through a tutorial to teach you how to draw. Now, this isn't the type of tutorial where it's like how to draw in my style. It's more of a tutorial that'll teach you just like how to draw in general. So let's get into it. Cue the intro. Okay, assuming you have no idea how to draw. Like, you don't know how to draw people at all. Like, when you try to draw a person, the first thing that comes to your mind is, a friendly little stick figure. And you're like, my stick figure is pretty cute. It's a stick figure. I want to be able to draw something more accurate than a stick figure. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go on like Google or like whatever searching thing you use, Yahoo or whatever. I don't know. And you're going to search, you're just gonna search male or woman standing. Just standing there. It's gonna be weird. I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then show you what to do next. As you can see, I've searched woman standing. I spelled it wrong, but who cares? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to images. And you're gonna scroll till you find one that's in a pose that is easy to draw. Well, easier than other poses to draw. I've picked this one because I thought it would work good. So you don't need a drawing app for this, but if you have one, you can use it. I just screenshotted it. And what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to use the markup tools, and you're gonna want to draw the shapes that you see in this person. I wasn't very smart, and I tried to draw with the black pen, and since the pen is so thin, it didn't really show up at all. So I would suggest using a color that contrasts the color of the person that you're sketching over. It doesn't really matter if it's a male or female, because people are made of the same shapes. It takes me a while to start drawing here, I'm not sure why. Okay, so here I've started mapping out the head as a circle. The neck as a line. The general torso area as a rectangle. And I do the hips and shoulders and pretty much any joint as a circle because you can move. So lines can come out from anywhere in the circle. Then I kind of map out the arms with lines for where the bones are, kind of. Then I draw the knees and feet as circles. And those are the shapes. Well, it's a simpler version of the shapes that I use when I draw. Everybody's shapes are somewhat different. For example, you could have something made out of triangles or something made out of more squares or more, I don't even know, hearts. But as long as it's simple enough and you'll be able to remember it. Okay, so you have your shapes like we did in the previous step. Now what you're going to do is you're going to want to draw all your shapes on the paper. This is gonna look really weird, but trust me. So if I remember correctly, what I drew was a circle. I'm gonna remember. A neck as a line. A rectangle. Circles for the hips. Circles for the shoulders. A line. A circle for the knee. A line and a circle for the foot. For the arms, I drew a line, circle for the elbow, and a line, circle for the hand. And you can already see how my shapes might differ from other people's shapes. Some people might have triangles. For example, before I used different shapes. Where this would be, I would do a circle, and a circle. Then I'd connect them and form kind of like this shape. But that's not the shapes that I'm using for this video, because I found that my brain doesn't really works better with the shapes that I've drawn right now. I'm just going to go erase the other shapes that I just drew. Okay, so you have your shapes. You might need to pause this if your shapes take longer to draw, because they might be more complicated than mine. Or they might be simpler, who knows? Everybody draws differently, and that's why there's no, like, right or wrong way to draw, like, at all. So what you're going to do now is you're going to draw, like, the rest of it. I say that, but it's actually pretty simple. So you have your shapes for, like, your arms. You have, well, maybe you don't have both your arms, or maybe you don't have any arms, but most likely you know what arms look like, even if you don't have arms. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this, but you can probably look at somebody's arms and be like, yeah, that's what arms look like. So I don't need to tell you, this is how you draw arms. But, so you're going to take your shapes and you're going to connect them. And you're going to draw around them. See, I know that this is where the elbow is, and I know that this is where the shoulder is. So to connect them for the arm, I draw part of the arm, I draw this part of the shoulder, and I do that. See, this is going to look a little weird, because you usually don't draw just shapes. You usually alter the shapes over time to what works best. Then for the hand, you know, I don't feel like talking about hands. So we're just going to do like a mitten type thing. Because drawing hands is a whole nother video. One I'm probably not even qualified to make. So then you're going to want to, you know, I made this. That's what I usually do. You don't really have to edit that part, because this is like the torso. I'm just doing the same thing to the other arm, which isn't really interesting to talk about because you already saw me do it. I'm going a little faster on this arm. I think the hands are a tad bit backwards, but that's okay. And for legs, depending on what gender you're going for, legs look kind of different. But for this, it's just kind of like a person. It doesn't really matter what gender the legs look like. So I'm just going to draw straight down, around the knee, and here. And as you can see, you have a person. And depending on what your shapes are, your person's going to look different. But hopefully, after you connect all your shapes, you have a body. And if you drew less shapes, you might have to do more when you're connecting them with your lines. For example, if these were your shapes, if you had a circle, a rectangle, and feet, and hands, you might have to do a little more than I had to do. You might have to think more. You might have to be like, okay, you might have to think about where the legs go and how they connect. But I think, wait, where's the elbow if you're drawing bent arms? But in general, it's the same process no matter what your shapes are. And you're probably going to look at that and be like, okay, I'm not satisfied with this result. How do I make it better? My response to that is, your shapes will change over time, and so will your knowledge of stuff. But this is not what the finished drawing looks like. You still have to draw, like, the face and stuff. You see, I didn't do the face because that's going to be a different video. But in general, that is how you draw a person. If you're trying to do more of a cartoon style, what you might want to do is you might want to exaggerate some of your shapes. For example, if I want my head to be larger, which I already made it, I could do something like circle, rectangle. It's still the same shapes because the human body is still a human body even when it's exaggerated. I made the arms really long, but that's, even though it has a ginormous head, it's still the same shapes. Remember, there is no wrong way to draw. Bye.
What happened? You won't like yourself, but you'll laugh.